Greetings again, Chombas. Hello. This time, we're going to cover the Cyberpunk 2020 core rulebook Lifepath. It's involved, it's detailed, it will really help you flesh out your character. It could take some time. Let's see how it goes. Okay, here we go. So, just going to jump right into it. Start there. Yes, this is all I'm going to put on the screen. Don't want Max and Mike pissed off at me. I don't want our Talsorian coming after me because I, put on the screen every little bit, every page of the core rule book where it goes over the life path. There's a lot to it. I don't want to get into all that. So I'm going to cover it. I'm going to talk about it. You're going to grab your core rule book. You're going to follow along with me. You got a printed copy. You got the PDF, whatever. You got the version 2. You got version 201 with the newer artwork, more artwork and stuff in it. Either one. That's great. It'll work. Lifepath stuff's all the same. If you don't have your core rulebook yet, do not just do searches on Google and try to download it. No pirating of books allowed, all right? Go over to DriveThruRPG. There's a link down below to get the core rulebook, get some of the other books if you want to. You can get them PDF, you can get them print, whatever. Grab them. They're not expensive. They're freaking cheap. Just go grab a real one if you don't already own it. If you do already own it, grab your copy. Here we go. We're going to cover the life path. All right. Now, really quick thing first. I got to do it, folks. Shop.PunkGenerator.com. T-shirts, free. Cyberpunk 2020 character sheet. You like what I do? You like my videos? Do me a favor. Check out the site. See if there's something you can use. Supporting me there helps me keep this channel going. Keeps these videos coming. You can also take a look at Patreon.com. PunkGenerator, support me there, whatever works for you. I would appreciate it. I hate having to ask for support like that. Kind of bugs me a little bit, but the fact is, I want to keep doing the videos. I want to do more videos. I want to do better videos. That's how we make it happen. Okay, moving on, people. So, you start, as it says, right there at the beginning. Now, at this point, before you get to start here, you've already picked your role. You've already spent your character points, so you know what your stat numbers are, that kind of stuff. Now, you want to do this next. You want to do your life path before you get into spending your skill points, before you get into your career skill points, your pickup points, or any of that stuff. You want to go through this, because what you find out in this, what you roll and through going through your life path, can affect where you want to put points on the next, when you get to that next step, right? So, part of the How to Create a Character in 2020 series, this is it. Here we go. So, roll a die 10. I'm just going to breeze through this stuff. I don't want to make this video too long. You're going to start here to figure out your style. You're going to look at, first thing you got a die 10. It's going to tell you what kind of clothes your character likes, what kind of hairstyle, and for another die 10, the third die 10 for expectations. Now, the way I do this as a ref, if you as a player, you already know what character your character likes, what kind of clothes, what kind of hairstyle, you already know these things, just put them down. You don't have to roll it. If you do roll it and you get something you don't like, or you don't think it would fit your idea for the character, no problem, don't worry about it. Roll it again. Just try again. You already know one of them. Roll what you knew, what you don't know. Don't worry about it. Okay? There you go. That is the origins and personal styles. The next section is going to be your ethnic origin. Cyberpunk 2020, Cyberpunk, all of them. Well, as it says, it's multicultural, multi-ethnic. Ethical? No. Multinational, whatever, okay? I'm not editing that out. That was kind of funny. All right, so anyway, you can pick, the next thing you should pick with the die 10, what part of the world you're from, where your family's from. Again, as a ref, I would let you as a player pick what you want. Some refs want you to roll every little bit of this. You roll die 10, you get one. You get, just for example, you get Central or South American. You can be, just as examples, you could be Spanish, you could be Portuguese, you could be something else from that part of the world. I would say, even if I did have you to roll it, which one more detailed, that's up to you as a player to pick for your character. Or again, just pick one. If I was a ref, I'd say you could just pick one. But if you don't know, roll it. Okay, that's your ethnic origin. Ethnicity, right? Okay, next we're going to roll out your family background. Now, I'm going to say all this stuff. If there's any of this you want me to go more detail in, drop a comment down below. Let me know. I'm going to pull that off the screen. We're going to go over here for a second, give you a little bit different viewpoint, vantage point, right? Because I got the cool stuff back there. I got to show it off every now and then. Anyway, okay. You want me to go into more detail of any of this stuff? Let me know in the comments. Also, I'm looking at considering putting on a course, a class, whatever you want to call it, on how to build a character. Some kind of thing we get together, get however many people we can together, and we all go through step-by-step building our characters. Of course, you want to have some information from your ref of how you want the character built. Maybe you can get your ref to participate. Or on the other side, just as a learning experience to help you get familiar with how this all works. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested. I'd appreciate it, okay? So anyway, here we're going back to it. Now, let's see, we already did the first part. We did the first couple parts, right? We're on family background. So this is all die 10. Almost every part of this is die 10. There's a couple things you roll 6s for. Most of this is all die 10s. So family ranking, right? This one picks where your family is coming from. Basically where your family came from, how you grew up, sort of. What I say is you roll this stuff out, and then you see how it rolls, see how it works out. You may have to flesh out a little bit more. Sometimes it doesn't quite make sense unless you add in some more details. But all right, start with the roll, go from there. That's how I like to do it. Again, though, if you have a really cool backstory that you've written or you've come up with, don't make it pages long, but a couple of paragraphs of, you know, hey, as a ref, I'll consider it. We'll use that instead of rolling some of this stuff out. No big deal. So you roll your die 10. You find out if your family's from a nomad pack, from a pirate fleet, basically waterborne nomads, from a combat zone, whatever it is. You got the chart there, so because you are looking at your copy of the book. Next one is your parents. Are their parents living in there? Well, then we find out if there are any problems going on. If something's already happened to your parents at this point in your life, go down there, go to the something's happened to your parents, roll that one out. Either way, you are going to family status next. This is where we find out if your family is in danger, everything's okay. If they're missing or dead, right, roll it out. Childhood environment. Did you grow up on the streets? Did you grow up in a corporate zone? Whatever it is, this is where you find that one out. Now, depending on how you rolled in family status, you may have had to do family tragedy. You roll out, you find out this information. Your family was scattered to the winds. Whatever it was, you roll each of these out, write it down. This really helps you flesh out your character, see where they came from. This helps you tell you what their motivations are, which we'll actually get into more detail on motivations in a bit, and you know, how you should play them, how that character should respond to things. Siblings, brothers, sisters, twins, roll it out. It's all on here. Are they older? Are they younger? Roll each of these out. How do they feel about you? Do they hate you? Do they like you? Do they worship you? It's all in this chart here under siblings. I would even go to the next step. When I do this, I go to that next step of rolling another die 10 for each sibling and find out, is that sibling a corporate now? Are they a fixer? Are they a nomad? Whatever. This gives me a little more information. Even going to that next step when you go back up on the chart of hairstyles and clothing styles, roll those out for each of your siblings. Give them some personality. You start to find out who those people are. You can actually role play better because they're a little more fleshed out themselves. Also helps your ref. As a player, it helps your ref get more plot hooks. Give them something to bring you into the game, or give you some motivation to do something, or to rescue somebody, or whatever it is. Right? Contacts. Every single person that you come up with when you're doing these roles is a contact for in-game play. You need help with something. That younger brother that worshipped you as a netrunner, give them a call. They will help you out if they can. Up to your ref how he plays that out. But that's why I say you roll all these things out. So you've got all this figured out ahead of time, so it's on your sheet. You know what those people are. You can call them, ask them for assistance, or ask them if you can help them. You need a job. You need some money. Hey, do you have your brother's or sister's a fixer? Maybe she's got a job for you. You know? Anyway, there you go. That's the family stuff. Motivations. As I said, we get to motivations. This is another one, okay? Over here, we're going to flip over because I like changing screens now and then, figuring out all this stuff, right? Eventually, I'm actually going to learn how to do these videos and get good at them. Could be. Anyway. All right, motivations. You're going to roll your die 10 for your personality traits. Now, some people, again, if you're a player, you already have an idea for some of this, talk to your ref. You may not make you roll it out, may just let you go with your ideas. I've even gone so far in some characters, depending on what I roll, to roll more than one of these and just kind of mix them together to try to make something that's a little bit more off the chart, so to speak, than just exactly what's listed here. But you roll that. You also roll who you value most. You know, do you have a friend or a relative, a teacher, or whatever that just is that person that it means the most to your character? Again, if it's not clear from what else you're doing, go back and roll a ROLL for the ROLE for each of these people. Find out if they're a fixer or nomad, or if they're a tech, med tech. You know, you never know when these things are going to come in handy. Both they might call you with something, or you might need to call them for something, or with a job, with a whatever. So roll all that stuff out. What do you value most? Is it your word, knowledge, power? Is that the most important thing for you, is power? Whatever it is, roll it on here, write it down. How do you feel about most people? Do you just don't care? They're tools, they're untrustworthy, whatever it is, roll it out on here, write it down. This helps you get that mindset, that figure out what your character is. Most valued possession. You know, do you have a piece of jewelry from your great relative, whatever, and that is the most important thing to you? It's worthless in Eurodollars in Cyberpunk 2020. It has no monetary value, but intrinsic value does matter to your player. To your character, is most important thing. Figure this stuff out, write it down, flesh it out. It really helps with the role play experience, both for you, the other players in the game, for your ref. Makes a big difference when you have all this stuff figured out. Your life events. This section is where you figure out how old you are. As it says there, you roll your 2d6 plus 16 to figure out your age. And then you go through your die 10, and you go through the chart here. And for each year, again, some refs I've seen actually have you roll 2 or 3 times for a given year if you want to have lots of events going on, lots of stuff going on. The idea of the chart, though, is there are other things happened in a given year, but this is the one thing that stands out, the one big deal that happened that year for you. So unless you get the nothing happened. As a ref, I kind of don't like that one. I think there should be some kind of a major event every year, at least one, but depends on your ref, they cares. So, depending on what you roll here, big problem, a big win, a friend, an enemy, a romantic involvement. Depending on which one you roll here, for each year. So you roll 17, for year 17, you roll big win. For example, say you big win. So you get down to the big win, big problems, big wins. And you roll your die 10. Was it a disaster? Was it a big problem? Or did you get lucky, a big win? Roll that out. Roll out what happened. Roll out each piece of this, and what you're going to, depending on what side you roll on, it's what you're going to do about it. You might have more detail. Again, depending on which one you roll, you might want to go back and find out if they're a fixer or nomad or whatever. You might want to go back and find, if you get in contact, if you gain a person from one of these rolls, go back and roll out what kind of clothes they wear and what kind of personality they have. All those things. Flesh that stuff out. Really adds to the experience. Makes your character more of a real person. Makes it easier to role play them because you've got all this stuff that tells you who they are. But you go through, okay, that's that section. Now, if you rolled a friend or enemy, you come down to the friends and enemies. This is 4 Bravo. Friends and enemies charts. You go through. where they, where, what happened, what, sorry, who are they, what happened, who's pissed at who, what you going to do about it, what are they going to do about it, what can they throw at you. Roll through each of these charts. It's a flow chart. You just go one to the next, follow the lines. Again, when you get down to it, each person, go back and figure out what kind of person they are, what role they are, all that fun stuff. Okay. Now, if you rolled romantic life, go down to that for Charlie. You know, how did it work out? Was it tragic? Were there some problems? How do you two feel about each other now? Okay. Flush all this stuff out. It's going to help you later. You go back, once you've rolled this for year 17, you go back up to, I'm going to scroll back up here, right? You go back up to that big problems, big wins, friends and enemies, romantic involvement, nothing happened. Roll it again, go through it again. You go through this chart for every year that you had, that you were, well, every year of your life. Find out what the big things are that happen to you. This really helps you figure out what kind of person your character is, what's happened to them in their lives. You know, it's really interesting how these things play out. You get some characters that have 3 and 4 different romantic involvements. Really tells them, well, that character was kind of a player, right? They got out there, they were meeting people. Or you end up with two teachers or combat teachers or something like that. You were really getting contacts and learning from people. You spend a lot of time improving your skills. All these things here will then help you figure out what skills and where to put your points in the next steps after you get done with this. So that's the basics. That's the life path. That's how it works. Sounds simple, but it takes a while to roll out. This could take an hour or two, depending on how many times you've done it, how experienced you are. 3 hours sometimes even, to get all through all this for every year, get all this written down, get it all figured out. But it's worth doing. You know, it's really worth going through every bit of it, fleshing your character out, figuring out what kind of person they are, figuring out all the stuff. You know, it's worth every bit of it. Go through all the steps. Write it all down. Have a good feel for it before you start your first actual game session with this character, so that you know how to play them, you know how they think, you know how they work, okay? Go through all that stuff. I appreciate you watching this video again. Again, shop.punkgenerator.com. Check it out for me. I appreciate that. Patreon, PunkGenerator over on Patreon. Check me out there. Have a great day. Have a great evening, whatever the time zone you're in. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.